What's up, everybody? It's the latest episode of Monday Musings, which is episode 62, I guess. For some reason, I was thinking we were on 63 or 64, but apparently we're only on 62 unless I lost count somewhere. Who knows? In any case, welcome. I'm Tim Anderson, aka Renfail. Dun, dun, dun. I don't think I have this camera zoomed, which I can fix rather quickly. There we go. It's a little better. This is my personal vlog space here on YouTube every Monday morning for the past year plus. I talk about life, things that Chris and I are doing, so on and so forth. It's not always gaming related. This is more just sort of my personal space to dump. So if you're new here and you're wondering what this series is, it's just a personal blah. And these episodes run long, 30, 45 minutes usually. So strap in, get ready. First request though, I am seeing if I can go full time with YouTube as opposed to looking for a part time job again. So if you like the content I produce here on YouTube, whether it's the games or the streams or anything else, do me a favor. Either subscribe as a member here on YouTube, it's like $3 a month, or go over to the Patreon page for that project, the Weave and Void project. You can start at $3 a month, and then the packages go up depending on what you want to get involved in. There's the point and click game, there's the tabletop stuff, the 5th edition books, map packs. We're going to have avatar packs coming in the pipeline for TTRPG players. And of course, there's the book chapters. So if you like my fantasy and science fiction work, you can get access to the recent chapters published twice a month in the Weave of the Void novel. Those start at $3 a month as well. So you can get in either at YouTube or over on Patreon for $3 a month, and I would really appreciate if you did because it would help out as I continue to push for full-time YouTube and not need to go look for another part-time job, which would be great. So if you like the content, I would really appreciate it if you helped out there and support a little bit as we march down the road to bigger and better things. So I've been talking recently about the documentation process for the house that we purchased in Mexico. And Chris and I are in some back and forth right now, having discussions about what is or isn't appropriate for us to talk about. As an example, we're not going to talk about where we live because I don't need the public to know that information because there are crazy people out there who will stalk you and SWAT your house and other stuff. So I'm not, trying to keep that type of information. I'm sure people can find it if they really want to go digging, hacking, all that good stuff. I'm sure they would be able to dig stuff up. But for the most part, I would like to, those are the kinds of things we don't necessarily want to share. Once we figure out what we can and can't talk about, we will start to produce video content around the purchase of the house and everything else. But it will not be happening here on this YouTube channel. Um, so our Marginal Boundaries page that we have had for years and years and years, which we were building up way before YouTube was ever like a serious contender to be an income source. I think we only have like 750 followers on that page. Um, but we've had that YouTube page sitting there for years, and I think I've been putting content up on that channel since like 2010, 2011, something like that. I've been putting content up there. Um, so we're going to be documenting all of that stuff over on the Marginal Boundaries YouTube channel. Um, we haven't done anything there for a few years since we quit travel blogging full time, but we have done quite a bit of Mexico content. We did all our workshops through there. We used to put a lot of stuff up there from our travels around Mexico. Ruins, Yaxchilan, Bonampak, Chichen Itza, Agua Azul, Misilha, hotels, restaurants, all sorts of other fun stuff. So since we've already done a lot of Mexico content over at that page, and we do want to get that YouTube up to the point where it's monetized, um, and we're gonna push that YouTube channel to be that source of Mexico-based content. So if you want to follow along with all of that stuff, and you want to follow along with the documentation process, what it cost to. I think that's one of the things we can talk about. Chris is a little leery. Neither one of us likes putting financial information out there for various reasons. I'm not a big fan of doing income reports and all that other stuff because nobody needs to know my income, least of all the government. And if you put stuff out in the public, then it's you know it is what it is. So, but I would like to talk about things like that. So we're trying to figure out how exactly we're going to do that. But I have been recording all of the processes here. So we recorded when we first moved in, um, the house being empty, the outlets not being there, and we've been every time we upgrade something, I record the video of the upgrade. Most recent being the door being installed. It is a process. I'm slowly building up. There's a level back there. It's got a 2 foot level. Slowly building up tools again, which I haven't owned any tools since I sold my construction company off in 2007. Um, so, yeah, getting slowly but surely getting stuff set up. So if you want to have access to that kind of stuff and you want to learn more and you want to follow along with our adventures in Mexico, I mean, I've been living here mostly, not necessarily full time, but mostly full time for since 2010. So it's been 12 years. I have permanent residency in Mexico. I'm married to a Mexican. Chris has her U.S. visa, um, not a green card, but just a visa. There's no point in getting a green card because to get a green card, she would need to live in the U.S. for a period of time, and then if you go out for too much, you lose the green card. It's there's no reason for us to pursue a green card at this point in time because we don't want to live in the U.S. The cost of health insurance is way too high, and it's I've talked about before that I did a video on why I live in Mexico. So check that video out if you haven't. That's on this channel. Anyway, we're going to be starting to get back around to doing Mexico content on the Marginal Boundaries channel. So if you want to follow along with that kind of stuff, especially the documentation of the purchase of this house, the remodeling of this house, it's not really a homesteading project because we're not off in the middle of nowhere without a septic system or without electricity. You know what I mean? Like we have electricity, we have septic, we have water, we have plumbing, we have all that stuff. But there are some elements that are homesteading like, and I'll give you an example. Um, there's no hot water here. There's not a water heater installed in this house. A lot of people go, no hot water. How do you take showers? Well, you don't need hot water here. It is 90 degrees year round. So the water stays pretty warm, lukewarm, even just in the pipes from the city because it's constantly 90 degrees outside. Um, Also, when it's 90 degrees outside and you've gone outside for a walk or you've gone outside and done yard work, garden work, you went to the grocery store, whatever the case may be, and you come back, the last thing you want is a hot shower. You want a cold shower to freshen up and like it's like dipping in the pool. So, um, really, you don't need a water heater until December, January, because then it does get into the 70s during the day, mid 70s. It'll drop down, you know, 70s at nighttime and stuff, and a little bit cooler. So sometimes during December, January, it actually does get cold enough that you want a hot water shower. But 10 months out of the year, you don't need hot water to take a shower because it's hot enough that you're like, I want to cool off. Um, and even me sitting here in the air conditioning all day, you know, we walk to the supermarket at 6:30 at night. That's a 20-minute walk there, 20, 30 minutes there, 20, 30 minutes back. You're hot and sweaty by the time you're back. So it's like, it's a great way to just jump in. So that's an example of some things that people might look at and go, oh, that's backwoods. That's like homesteading. So it is similar to that, but not completely. But we have had to take this place and get it to modern. We are modernizing this place to what we need for our comfort levels, which is first and foremost, we got the air conditioner installed, which was more for me than for Chris, but Chris does obviously um, at least use it on occasion, even if she's not in here 24/7 like I am. I live in this office. I only leave this office when we need to go do stuff, or I got to go do yard work, or do cat dad stuff, or go to the supermarket. That's the only time I leave the office. Yeah, and there are other things that we've just had to do. Like we still don't have mosquito nets on the windows, and that's something that I can't do myself because I don't have the tools yet, nor do I have the knowledge on how they do things here. I've seen how it's done, but seeing how something is done is not the same thing as installing it yourself. So the carpenter that we hired to put the door on for the office, he's gone until the end of May. So when he gets back, he'll be installing the screens. So these are the types of things I'm going to be documenting. So if you want that kind of stuff, don't forget to follow over on the Marginal Boundaries YouTube. I haven't done anything in like maybe a year and a half. We published something I think around Christmas time, maybe last year. We were like, we're going to be doing content, and we never did. We had plans to do content, and then we didn't for reasons. There are reasons related to that, mostly related to all the legal shenanigans that went down with Stormhaven Studios that are still going on. Um, there is an active arbitration case, but the bulk of the different lawyer teams and everything else that took up a lot of time and energy. So I can only imagine what Johnny Depp's going through right now with the Amber Heard case. I feel for that guy. I really do. I'm definitely on his side of the fence. I have been watching the court case and I've been listening to the facts. If I was on the jury, I would be predisposed to believing his side of the events entirely because there have been some. She has completely fabricated some stuff and they've been proven to be fabricated. Like the makeup company, she said that I used this makeup to cover the bruises, and the makeup company literally came out and said that's not true because we didn't actually launch that line of makeup until this point, and you claim that the abuse happened in the 2 years leading up to the launch of the product that you claim you used to cover up the bruises. So it's just I don't like participating in legal stuff. So that takes a lot of your energy. So anyway, that's why we didn't publish a lot of stuff like we were planning to. But we are getting back to it. I have probably recorded 15, 20 videos now on the process of us buying this place and renovating it. Tonight we're actually going down to the river at 6:45. Try to get there before sunset with the camera. Um, we haven't done any photography since we've been here, but we're finally settled in enough to where we can actually go out and do that. So we're going to go do some photography this evening with the sunset. Probably record a couple of video snippets for TikTok and YouTube, and then yeah, probably do a video down by the river. Down by the river. So I've gotten 12 minutes in, and all I've talked about is life in Mexico stuff. And go sign up to marginalboundaries.com and support this channel as a member, or go over to Patreon. It's a great way. I do have to split it with my brother though if we do it on Patreon, but either way, I'd prefer everybody go over to the Patreon page because that's what we're trying to build up. Um, let's see what happened this week. Nothing much. This was a slow week. We're just waiting for the pregnant cat to have her babies because I don't I'm trying to be a responsible person and not just push her out the door and make her go have babies somewhere else like everyone else does. Because then she's just going to keep getting pregnant and we're just going to contribute to the feral cat population, which I don't want to do. So I was okay taking care of her and her two babies that she brought here, but she's ready to explode. She showed up here with those babies and pregnant. Um, and I'm trying hard to be responsible, but that's not an expense that we had anticipated having. So I've been looking at that going, depends on how many babies she has. But I think we're pretty sure we can get all those adopted. But Chris wants to open up a TikTok account for them for the whole she wants to open like a cat rescue TikTok account because she thinks that there are people out there that would. She says she's seen other accounts where people open it up and people donate to help out with the rescued animals and help you find adoption homes for them and everything else. So I'm like, if you want to do that, that can be your thing because I love cats. I'll help you take videos and stuff, but we'll see. But the vet has been very friendly about saying she'll help us get adoption homes for them. But I need to have a longer conversation with the vet because she's wanting us to wait till like 6 months to spay and neuter, and I'm like, I don't want to wait because they're don't want to wait 6 months. Like you can do it at 4. I would like you to do it at 4 for these two that we've got, and the new ones that are coming along the way, I need those to be done at like 2 months, like because I can't keep those, and I can't be assured that we're gonna get those adopted. So those need to be like ready to be neutered like at 2 months, sterilized, so that we can put them outside and they can become outside animals. Because I'm not gonna be spending a fortune to have 6, 7, 8 cats in the house. Uh-uh. The amount of money you have to pay for food and cat not it's not even just about the money at that point. It's also about the smell of 6 to 8 cats in a litter box. You need 2, 3 litter boxes at that point, and I'm not going to be doing two. That is a full-time job. It's a full-time job cleaning cat piss and cat shit, and I'm not ready to do that. It's okay having a couple animals, but beyond that, I'm not equipped to handle being a cat shelter. So that's in the process. Um, Now that we got the door installed, we're pretty much done with the current stuff. We literally have to wait for the carpenter to get here until the end, and he's not going to be back till the end of May to do the nets. So the rainy season starts in May. So more than likely, we're not going to do anything with the garden or anything else until the carpenter comes and gets the screens installed, at which point we're going to start doing the garden and stuff. We'll get into that later. Which means in the meantime, everything is about YouTube. So we've got Monday Musings that come out every Monday morning at 7 a.m. and Mondays in Middle Earth, which happen at 11 a.m. Central Time every Monday. Which means I'm no longer going to stream on Monday mornings because there's two pieces of content that come out in the mornings on Mondays. I don't need to do anything else on Mondays, so I'm going to treat Monday like my day off, so to speak, and just do me stuff on Mondays. Um, I've been experimenting for the last week and a half on YouTube with streaming schedules, and I've been doing 7 a.m. to noon almost every day, pretty much every single day, apart from this Monday, I won't. Last Monday, I did. And because I was streaming, the videos that I pushed out at 7 and 11 did not get the views that they normally get because people were busy watching the live stream and not paying attention to the videos that were coming out. I would rather have those videos get the views that they need to have because I am heavily, heavily focused on monetizing this channel and having this become my primary source of income apart from the Patreon page. Because I really do want to be full time. I mean, I can always go find a part time job. It's not an issue. I would rather not. I would rather focus full time on my writing and my streaming and game development, which means people like you supporting. So nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So I am focusing on figuring out the timelines and everything else so that it's the most productive it can be. So that being said, the experiment recently has been 7 a.m. to noon Central Time. It's been working pretty good. We're up. Some people might watch this video and go, ooh, those numbers suck. Yeah, well, I'm a small time person who's just now starting to focus. Literally, mid April 2022 is the first time that I have been focused on trying to actually build up a reputation as a full time streamer and full time YouTuber. I've never tried to do this before with this channel. Previously, this channel has always been something I did in my spare time, outside of my day job, outside of my game development. This is my personal space to just do stuff with. We got moved on March 15th. We arrived here on March 15th. A month later, on April 15th, basically was when I said to Chris, you know what? I think I'm going to try to do this full time for the next couple of months, and see if we can make that into reality. Um, Otherwise, I'll go find another part-time social media gig or a marketing gig or something, do a contract, do some consultations, maybe find a game developer gig doing writing or something for someone. There's always contract work to be had. Sometimes it takes you a little bit to find work, but I've been freelancing for 22 years. That's the nature of freelancing. If you've never freelanced before, that's just how it works. Sometimes you have 6 months off, sometimes you have 2 weeks off. Just depends on the contracts and the seasons. Sometimes you don't want to work for 3 or 4 months because you're burnt out, so you take 3 or 4 months and you go do something else. The beauty of how I've been able to manage my finances for the past, you know, since 2007 basically is 2008 is keeping the cost of living low enough that I can do what I want to do in my spare time and Now that I've eliminated rent and we don't have a mortgage, that means I need even less to pay the bills. So it's like it's a nice place to be in where you don't need thousands of dollars a month just to survive. Um, there are still basic needs: food, electric, water, gas, healthcare. You know, those are immediate needs. But if you can cover those for $1,000 a month or less, which I can, um, then you don't really have to stress too much about needing to have a job that's making 50, $60,000 a year. Um, and it is from a stress perspective, it's very nice to be in that position. So streaming wise, I'm doing that. Now I'm gonna change the schedule up in May. At the start of May, I'm gonna switch it up, and we're gonna see what are the views like when we do 11 a.m. Because right now I've been doing 7 to 11, 7 to noon, babe, more or less. It's like 6:30 to 11:30, 7 to noon, somewhere in there. Often 6:30 to 11:30, but that's roughly the timeline. Um, that's a 5 hour stream. I've been doing 5 hours every day for like 2 weeks now. Numbers have been climbing. It's been very good. I've gone from like 5 or 6 people a day tuning in to 12 to 15 people a day tuning in. So I've doubled my audience, doubled the live audience, and I have seen the views go up significantly from 50 to 60, maybe 80 views, up to 150 to 200 views for the streams and getting residual traffic after the fact. So there has been positive net growth over 2 weeks of doing regular streaming from 7 to 12 every single day. The uploaded video views, those are about the same. They are slowly increasing because we are bringing on new followers. I've had a pretty steady stream of new followers coming in this month. It's actually been very good, the amount of new people. Hello, everyone. Um, so that's been good. Those views are slowly increasing, but they're a lot more kind of steady than the growth that we've seen with streaming. Streaming has been a very steep increase, which is great. Also, some of that is just due to the fact that I went from sporadically, randomly streaming to just streaming every single day. And once people know that you're going to be doing something regularly, they will tune in because they have that source of entertainment. They want to come hang out, etc. But starting in May, I'm going to switch the schedule up to experiment with the 11 a.m. to like 4 p.m. bracket and see like I'm gonna do 2 weeks of 11 a.m. to 11 a.m. to 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 11 to 4, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm gonna try that bracket. How does that bracket work? Do I get more views or do I get less views? Do I get more people or less people by streaming from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.? I like the early morning stream because I like to sit here with coffee and wake up. And I like to have that early morning crowd who want to hang out with coffee in the morning. It's very relaxed, very chill. If I'm streaming from 11 a.m., now I'm in work mode. I've had my coffee, I've had my breakfast, everything else. I will have to adjust my sleep schedule though because I take naps every day at like 1 p.m. Like right now, it's what time is it right now? It's 1 p.m. right now as I'm pre-recording this, and I'm ready for a nap. As soon as I get done with this video, I'm gonna lay down for a couple hours. In any case, from like the 1st of May onwards, we're going to switch the schedule up. But for the rest of April, it's going to be 7 to noon. And then in May, we will go 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for 2 weeks. Then the latter half of May, I'm going to do 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. and see how that works. The caveat to all of this is I cannot stream past 7:30 p.m. At least not with the current internet that I have. This ISP is because of where we live, it's not fiber optic like I had in the city. So I'm on cable internet, and it's it's a good enough connection to stream off of. But every night at 7:30, like clockwork, I get throttled all the way down, and I can't. There's no upload. There's not enough of an upload for me to stream from 7:30 onwards. So, which is fine with me because it's cool enough in the evenings by 6:30, 7 o'clock that Chris and I have been doing all of our errands at night. So it actually works out very well to get up and have a day of work. And then whatever time we start is the time we start. And then we stop at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., somewhere in there. We stop and we go out and we do our grocery shopping and we take a walk and we do all that stuff at night. So that works out fine for me. I don't need to be a nighttime streamer. I'm absolutely okay with the nighttime being relaxed time. Go grocery shopping, come back, have a shower, relax with a drink, go to bed. I go to bed early. Usually we're in bed by 10 o'clock, and I get up early, like 5 o'clock. So in any case, that's the stream schedule for now. It's going to be the rest of April is going to be 7 to noon. Then the first 2 weeks in May are going to be 11 to 4. And then the latter part of May, the last half of May, we're going to be 2 to 7. So each time we're shooting for 5-hour brackets, and those are mostly game streams. I can't really do at the moment. I may be starting to do some game dev streams, but I believe those will be locked behind the paywall. Those will be PayPal, sorry. Those will be subscriber only here on YouTube because that's going to be related to Weave and the Void stuff. But it's going to be related to my personal journey of learning C++ programming and putting together a side project as part of my learning because I don't like just doing tutorials. I like to actually build a product because it teaches you real world application of the skills that you're learning through tutorials. So I will be building some project through my coding work, and that will be something that I'll be documenting for subscribers here on YouTube, and that will come out as I start working through that. I don't have a start date for that though. Probably in sometime in May. Uh, it might actually be June actually because I need to get everything with the Weave and the Void tabletop books out the door. So I still have quite a bit of artwork to put in and layout and everything else. Um, and I'd rather stay focused on that until I'm completely wrapped. We publish those books on June 1st. So those books are out the door. Then we roll into the live stream on June 5th. I am already preparing the Kickstarter for the hardback versions of those right now. So that's going to be coming later. Um, and we're doing a very small Kickstarter, like 2,500 bucks. It's basically we've had 40 to 50 people express interest in potentially picking up a hardback version of our books. And so we're just going to run a very small Kickstarter so that those people can pre-order those hardback versions. And then if we get some additional people beyond that, well, cool. We'll have some stretch goals in there and stuff like that. But we're not trying to do like a $20,000 Kickstarter or anything like that. It's going to be a $2,500 small little campaign for 50 to 100 people who want to buy books, and that's it. So I'm still working on all that stuff, and that takes priority. But once that's done, I'm also starting to do the read through of the Saga of Lucemia, Echoes of the Past, Book One, and that's going to be also for subscribers only here on YouTube. Those are the chapters. So for those of you who have been asking for the audiobook version of Echoes of the Past, that will be coming starting in May. I was thinking about doing it this weekend, the first chapter. I still might do that because I'm pre-recording this on. No, it won't. Today's Sunday, isn't it? Double check. Pretty sure today's Sunday. Yeah, I'm pre-recording Sunday. It's not going to happen this weekend. Next weekend, we'll do the first episode. Hmm. Yeah. So lots more fun stuff coming to YouTube. So hopefully you'll enjoy all of that. Join the Discord. Links are down below. We announced our Project 1999 adventure group on Friday nights. That's myself, Nathan Napalm, Bounty Code, Sparrow, Kel, and Vendini. I've put out some videos around that around YouTube. But we're starting on May 6th. Those adventures are going to be happening every Friday night from 5:30 p.m. until about 9:30 or 10. Now, because of my internet situation, it'll be fun because I'll be streaming on my internet from 5:30 to 7:30. Streaming after 7:30, I'll have to switch over to my 4G and stream on my phone data. It is what it is. Did I talk about this already? About I can get Starlink here, but we don't have an address. I don't know if I've talked about that on the stream or on the videos. I may have. We don't have an address here, and this is related to just this house was built 20 years ago when there was nothing here, and so her mom never bothered. Chris's mom never bothered to give this place an actual numbered address. So it's literally an unregistered. I did talk about this because I talked about the hospital. Also, the local hospital does not have a number. It's literally S/N, which means sin numero without number. Um, and we still haven't gotten the paperwork back from the government on some stuff, which has the plans and like the original plans for the zoning and everything else are all with that package. So until we get that package back, we can't do anything because we have to take that package into the office, the city public works office, to get our address assigned to us. And until that happens, I can't order Amazon. I'm not on Google Maps and I can't order my Starlink. But I plugged the neighbor's address in a couple weeks back, and you can get Starlink delivered to the neighbor. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna get Starlink ASAP. So in the meantime, I have solutions for the nights that we need to stream, which includes Sunday nights. So tonight I will be streaming. We have tabletop group up tonight, so we'll either be using my phone, or if my phone's being cranky, I'm gonna have Nathan host the stream um, on his end, and then I will just attend via the phone. Solutions. Modern problems require modern solutions. Chapter 17 for The Weave and the Void just went out this past Thursday. I think it's my favorite chapter so far. It's definitely the most action-packed chapter, and it's the biggest chapter that's been written so far. So the first part of book one, part one, the prologue essentially, getting out of Parthana, I kept things to a 2,000 word limit, or that was the goal that I shot for, was 2,000 words per chapter. Once I got into part two, I started allowing myself a little bit of free reign and just said I'm going to write the chapters until they have a pretty good stopping point, and then I'll move on. Most of those chapters have been in like the 22 to 2,500 words range, so a little bit beyond 2,000 words. I had one or two longer chapters. This chapter was definitely a lot longer. This chapter came out to a 3,700 word chapter, so it's a lot longer. But there's a lot going on. There's a lot of action in this chapter. It's definitely a big chapter for a lot of reasons. Um, what follows is very important. We're about halfway through halfway through part two of book one. So we still have quite a few chapters left um, to get through to the end of part two, but we are making steady forward progress. That Dragonlance announcement the other day was pretty huge. Nathan and I are super stoked for that. And I have a feeling, not have a feeling, we're definitely going to be doing something related to that stream wise later this fall, whenever that comes out. We're going to have to. Like, that's going to be a big thing that we do for our YouTube channels. 100%. I know that I have talked to my fellow looking for more castmates, Simmer, Daedalus, and Nathan. And at some point in the next couple months, it's going to be after Daedalus gets moved into his new place, because he just went through selling his old place, going through the closing, everything else. Once he gets moved and settled in, we're going to be setting up to do a stream, a multi-stream of Baldur's Gate 3. Nathan, myself, and Simmer all own it. We own the early access, but Daedalus does not. But he said he's going to be happy to join us. So it's been a while. I've not played since the Druid update, and I pitched it to those guys. I was like, "Hey, what do you guys think about doing? Do you want to do this one time?" And everybody agreed that we would at least come in and do a one-shot for like a 4 to 5 hour stream where we come in and just play Baldur's Gate 3 for a day. Um, so I can't wait for that to happen, because I've been loving everything about that game, even though I haven't been playing it regularly. So expect to see something about that coming next couple. I'd say it'll probably be June before we do that. June or July maybe. We are almost into May, and May for me, at least for what my perspective, May is all about YouTube. So as we get to the end of this video, not just YouTube, but also the Patreon page, because we're publishing the books. We're publishing the source book and the first module on June 1st. So we're coming to the end of that production cycle. So I'm going to be pushing everyone hard and heavy on subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Not just subscribe and like videos, but monetarily support here on YouTube and get over to the Patreon page and pre-order the books, pre-order the point and click game, or just subscribe at the $3 a month level so that you can do some general support as well as get access to the book chapters. Because most of what I produce creatively right now in terms of writing and game development is all done through our Patreon page. We're not going out and doing investors this time around. At least we don't have a plan to do so. We haven't pitched to any publishers. We have looked at a couple of grants, and we will probably pursue some grants. But we don't plan on seeking out investors or publishers at this time. We want to keep this very grassroots. I already did the investor thing with Saga Leucemia and raising money for Stormhaven Studios and, you know, being the CEO for 7 years basically and almost 7 years and founding that studio and running 20 crew members. And I don't want to do that. It's too much work. Not that I'm lazy, it's just I don't want to. I would much rather focus on smaller projects, and that's what we're doing. We're keeping this one very small. But we are trying to build the Patreon up to $3,000 a month mark for three reasons. Um, one of which is at $3,000 a month, it's been a goal for a long time. Once we get to $3,000 a month on the Patreon page, we will be bringing on a full-time artist who will be getting $1,000 a month from that. So it'll be split three ways. It'll be split $1,000 a month to Chris and I, $1,000 a month to my brother, and $1,000 a month to our artist. Not full-time income, but it is what it is. Um, I've Nathan Napalm is our guy for art. Like we're working with Nathan Napalm. He's doing the character art for the tabletop books, and we are working towards. He's going to be doing the Kickstarter with us, and one of the stretch goals is going to be additional artwork from him. He's going full time in June. He's definitely looking to ramp up his YouTube and other sources. And I would love for our Patreon to become one of the places that he can rely upon for part of his income as he continues to push full time as well. So if you enjoy my writing and you enjoy the things that I do on YouTube and you enjoy my books, you enjoy the games that I've built, if you enjoy that type of stuff, go over to the Patreon page and pick up a subscription. Because if we get to those marks, we're not going to be DM Dave anytime soon. If you've never seen DM Dave's campaign, I mean, his Patreon's bringing in like, I think he's got like 7,000 subscribers. So I mean, he's bringing in like $35,000 a month, which is ridiculous. We're not looking for that. We're not at that level yet. We'll scale there eventually, but we are growing. We had I think two new people join the month of April. Every month we've been having two, three new people. I think we're up to like 14 or 15 patrons now, which is amazing. And we also have people who are subscribed over on Twitch. So to those of you who are supporting financially and pre-ordering products and everything else, thank you so much. But I am going to be pushing heavily throughout the month of May to drive people over to that Patreon page because we are launching the books on June 1st. The first part of The Weave in the Void is finished. Second part is the Kickstarter campaign for the hardback books, but that's individually separate. And then we have the point and click game coming out this winter. So all of those are good things and good reason to get supported. But one of the things we'd like to do with the Patreon page as we grow it bigger and as we get it to the $3,000 a month mark so that we're able to pay Nathan $1,000 a month, my brother $1,000 a month, Chris and I $1,000 a month, that pays for our time, but it also pays for us to do lots of other stuff, including more map packs. We're going to try to start producing a monthly module for the Patreon. We've talked to Nathan about doing like avatar packs so that people can get like digital avatars that they can use for either their TTRPG campaigns or other games that they play, other resources. We got lots of ideas and lots of things that we're going to do in. So more map packs, avatars, custom artwork, things of that nature. So don't be cheap. Go over to the Patreon page and subscribe. And I am going to harp on it all throughout May because we are on a mission right now to get to $3,000 a month on that Patreon page. That is the mission now that our first product is out the door in June. Our mission is to get that Patreon to $3,000 a month from various subscribers and pre-order people as we continue to build this up into something bigger and better and build this community of gamers around the world of the Weave and the Void. So get on over to that page, sign up, subscribe, and you will be heavily rewarded because there's a lot of cool stuff at the Patreon. I just did the free update today, update 53. Let me check Discord. I think it was update 53 came out today. And it was a freebie. I actually did an update. Most updates are for subscribers only, but I did a big free update today. Um, and we shared with everybody. So let me double check this here. Yeah. So check all that stuff out because we've got tons of stuff happening over at the Patreon page. And above and beyond that, check out the streams every morning when I'm live. You can also tip during the streams. You can use YouTube's feature. You can also, there's a link below to join as a member, or you can tip via Streamlabs. So either way, you have lots of options for ways that you can help out financially and support your favorite content creator, because hopefully I am your favorite content creator. But hopefully you enjoy more than just what I'm producing on YouTube, because what I'm building with that project is it means a lot to me because it's something I'm working on with Chris. So I get to watch Chris create artwork for that. I get to watch my brother. I get to work with my brother. You know, my baby brother that has grown up. I still remember taking him to see Harry Potter when he was like 4 or 5. I'm 13 years older, so I was he came along when by the time I was a late teenager, he was just growing up. So I remember being able to take him out and see stuff from the time he was 5 or 6 years old. So it's been very interesting for that journey to happen. Um, I'd like to think that I've played a little role as a mentor as well, but maybe not entirely, because we have lots of different opinions on things. But hopefully, I've been able to provide him with some good mentorship. But it's been a lot of fun working with him on this project. I'm glad we were able to maintain the working relationship and move over from Saga Leukemia after all that chaos onto this project and still have fun together because we've been working together now for going on 8 years, maybe something like that, 8 years together. So it's been fun. So that's a wrap, everybody. I'm done. I'm gonna go take my nap now. So don't forget later today, Mondays in Middle Earth. I think this is the third episode I think this week for Fellowship of the Ring. I'm going to be recording later on today the fourth episode, which covers the Council of Elrond, which is going to be the biggest episode yet because it took me 4 reading sessions to get through the Council of Elrond because there's just so much lore dumps happening, so many lore dumps that you just have to stop and process. So I took a lot of notes during that chapter. So stay tuned for that stuff, everybody. See you in Discord, see you in the next episode, and hopefully we'll see you over on Patreon. Until next time, stay safe, everybody. Peace.